Hey everybody. So last time all I did was get the web application or the Angular application working. Just basically set it up. Something I do once in a while. As you saw, I had to fumble around a little bit just because I don't do it that often. I probably do it 8 to 12 times a year. But I mean, I've worked with a lot of Angular developers that like have never done that before. So they just go to a job and then the very first thing they do is they just go into the code and they start coding and they've never, created an npm project or an npm or created an Angular project from scratch before. And it's just like a very unpleasant way to live that way because there's a doing some laundry and the dryers or washing machines going off, going crazy. But it's very stressful to live that way, and it's sort of like when you don't have like an underlying understanding of a lot of things that you're working with, you sort of have this underlying stress level that you don't even know is there. And then like the first time, a lot of times when I'm working with someone and I go, oh no, this is how this works, and I show them that like it is like a breath of fresh air for them. So that's why I do that, and I don't do it enough to where it doesn't. But anyways, now I'm going to start actually trying to port this vanilla JavaScript into Angular, and this vanilla JavaScript is like a traditional scripting uh, situation. And with scripting, like when you're just doing basic scripting, my basic rule of thumb is like if it's less than like a couple hundred lines, then there's no reason to like set up classes and set up all kinds of stuff. You just sort of just do exactly what we've done here, and this is a perfect thing. But one of the biggest problems when you're looking at code that other people have written and stuff is that a lot of times they kind of leave artifacts in there that maybe mattered at one time or were part of something at one point or part of a plan at one time, and then they aren't actually necessary anymore. And I feel like there's a lot of that in this code. I'm not sure, but as far as I could tell, we do create a speech recognition. And so this specifically, this line of code on line number one does a lot of stuff. And if you're a vanilla JavaScript coder, you see this on a daily basis. So this reads perfectly to you. But if you're from other backgrounds, like other frameworks or something, you may not see this shorthand very often. And I rarely see this shorthand in anything that's like TypeScript based because generally you need strong typings all over the place. But so so basically this was the first thing I want to do. And basically what line one is saying is that we want to create an object called speech recognition. And I would it like you to look on the Windows namespace and see if there's something called speech recognition. And if there is, please use that. Otherwise, please check to see if there's something called webkitSpeechRecognition. And then nothing else, like no other, hey, I don't know what to do if I don't find either of these. But anyway, so now I need to do something equivalent over in the Angular side that does the same stuff. So I'm going to switch over to the Angular application now. And there it is. And so basically, I had actually have never seen this before, but it so basically but I got this from like tutorials and stuff that I saw yesterday. But in WebKit speech recognition, so I'm going to declare two variables: WebKit speech recognition and speech recognition. Now somehow this automatically assigns what's in the Windows, um, what's on the Windows namespace into here by doing this, and I don't really understand that. Um, it's just like I'm not doing any assignments or anything. So I'm just sort of declaring some. So there's some code when the transpiler runs that does an assignment. And and so then in the constructor of my component, so these components all come with have an optional constructor. If you don't create a constructor, I believe it creates a blank one underneath the scene, behind the scenes. But and this code runs, and I don't need this title anymore, so I'm going to get it. and then over here I'm creating a component attribute, and I am called recognition, and I'm leaving it undefined. So if I were to just do like a console log right before this code of recognition, right, it's just going to be undefined. It's not, I didn't assign it anything. And then I say, hey, if speech recognition exists on the window object. Now, I know that I'm pretty sure I would swear that like in Angular 5 and 6 and somewhere before this, you could not just ask for the window object. You had to do special code to get access to the window object. It looks like it's just there now because I did not do any special code to get this. And then I say, hey, if speech recognition exists on the window, then use that. Otherwise, if WebKit speech recognition exists on the window, use that. And then I say and then I let myself know what's going on. And that's only because this stuff is extremely bleeding edge. So it's eventually this WebKit speech recognition will go away and speech recognition will be used in its place. But the problem is it may not be the same when that happens. So that's something that I need to watch out for in the future is whenever this code at some point on some browsers, suddenly, if all goes as planned, suddenly this guy won't work anymore and this guy will work. And there's a strong possibility that something will have changed in the way this guy works when that happens. So this kind of gives me a kind of a hint that, okay, oh, I remember when this wasn't working and this was working. But anyway, so now we have our speech recognition, and it's like all the stuff. It's got all the events and all that. So we're kind of like in the beginning of that other thing. Now, back to the next step was that this speech grammar list. And as far as I can tell, this never gets used, right? Like if I do a search on speech grammar list, there's, well, never mind. If speech grammar, what was I looking at earlier? So no, it looks like speech grammar list does get used. Okay, so it gets used for the speech recognition list, and speech recognition list gets used here. So don't know if this thing, let me go live on this, on our old friend, and allow Aqua. Okay, so that's still working. So what happens if I take my speech recognition list? Well, see, okay, so then we take this and we add it to our grammars. So it looks like we're using that. Okay, so the next step for me is going to be to basically do the same thing here. And it is interesting that over here they added window to the front of this. That is really interesting. I wonder if there's a reason for that. Let's go ahead and get rid of that window and see if it breaks. Let's see. Aqua. Oh, didn't work the first time. Aqua. Oh, interesting. So I wonder if we had an error. No. Oh, it's just really slow. Aqua. Okay, click. Aqua. Okay, so no, it's still working. Aqua. Yeah, so maybe something was slow, but anyways, so it does not look like that window was needed. And like, okay, so you may be wondering, okay, so why go through this in such a slow way? And that's because when like there's just this common phenomenon that's really, really in most JavaScript developers that I know, that I've ever known, and including myself, where we have like sort of all these gaps in our understanding of how things work. And that's because in JavaScript, more than any other language I've ever been in, you can build really good stuff without really understanding what you're doing. And so we build a bunch of stuff, and it's great, but then we have all these voids and holes in our understanding. And then if anything in our sort of our understanding shifts, if the underlying API shifts in any way or something like that, we're just like totally defenseless. Um, and this is the point. This is the point that you can actually truly understand things. It'd be very, very difficult. It's weird once you've learned how, kind of made it concrete on how to do these things. Um, Once you've done that, it's really hard to go back and learn these real basic things. And these real basic things are very easy to understand when you don't understand the concrete stuff. So there's going to be a point where I'm just going to absolute badass on coding this stuff. And then at that point, I am very vulnerable to any low level misunderstandings that I have. So that is that. So that's why I'm going to be like kind of going over this line by line, because I want to build an application that's going to be robust, and then I know for a fact that it's going to get busted up because these specifications are probably going to change, and I need to be able to roll with those punches. Anyways, that's what I'm thinking. So basically, all I accomplished yesterday was getting the speech recognition and demonstrating it in the console. And next, it's going to be a slow roll, but next I'm going to be working on the um, grammar list. And when I do my grammar list, I'm just literally going to just add this in there and see if that works. I wonder. Let's try that. Okay, I'm going to try that. I'm going to remove this. Yeah, it's so much easier to test on this thing. And then I'm going to go back here. Oh, wrong one. Go back here. Nope. Where are you? Did I close it? Let's see. I'm still open. Do it again. Aqua. Yeah, see, it still works. So it doesn't seem like I need to add all the for my uses. Like, I'm saying it still works. I don't know if it's working as designed. Like, if this application was supposed to do some other thing that I'm not aware of. But so I think this is all I'm going to put in my grammar right here. Basically saying that it's this stuff. I don't even know if it seems like I don't even need the colors. Probably, actually. All right, sorry guys. I know this video is supposed to be over, but I'm going to get rid of that and see. Let's see if I can alt tab over there now. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to reload and Aqua. Yeah, so it looks like that's all I need is to tell it what version of the grammar I'm using. And it looks like all the rest of this stuff is like, I don't know, I'm not exactly sure what the word means, but I hear it used in this context all the time, superfluous. It seems to be superfluous. Again, happy coding, everybody. Next thing will be to deal with this grammar list and keep on coding.